Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's time to look at the astrology and Kabbalah of July 2023. We're going to be looking at the Tree of Life, the chakras, the numbers, and also the first week of July. I'm going to take July 1 week at a time. If you do enjoy these monthly videos and then the weekly videos for the week ahead and the daily videos and the shorts and the occasional card read, I would ask you to support my channel if you could. It could be just a thumbs up. It could be a share. I have a Patreon page. There is a link below, or you could get a reading with me. There's a link below for that as well. I'd like to continue doing my work. I really enjoy it, and I think it's a value. And I'm just asking those of you who enjoy my work to continue enjoying it. And thank you for all the great energy, for all the likes, for all the thumbs up, and for all the attention, because it really comes down to if you're willing to spend time to hear what I have to say, that is a gift. Okay, let's go. Let's take a look. Let's get started. All right, so we're looking at the astrology and the Kabbalah of July 2023. We'll take a look at the numbers and the paths on the Tree of Life first. So the vibration, the universal year vibration is a 7. I've spoken of this every month so far, and we've come to the 7th month. So not only is the 7 the vibration for the universal year, but the 7 is also the vibration for the month of July. And so we know there's going to be something significant happening in the month of July, and there are many things significant happening in the month of July, not the least of which is a shift in the nodal picture. The nodes of the moon have been in North Node Taurus, South Node Scorpio, and on the 18th of July, they're going to shift, and the North Node is going to go in Aries, and the South Node is going to go in Libra. And then shortly thereafter, Pluto makes an exact square to the nodes of the moon 3 times over a week. So there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of tension, and whenever Pluto is square the nodes, we're being asked to make an evolutionary decision. What decision are we going to move toward? Now, the resolution node for Pluto square the nodes is the South Node in Libra. We're going to have to renegotiate our relationships to those who we are in alignment with, and also those we are not, so that we can move in the direction of Aries to build a new world. And we get to make a big decision come July. So that being said, if we look at the 7 path on the Tree of Life, it is associated with the Chariot card, which we see here on the left. And the 18th path is called the intelligence of the house of influence. This is the path of the Chariot, the 7 path, the path associated with the sign of Cancer. The sun is in Cancer. In fact, the new moon in Cancer is part of the nodal picture with Pluto. The path of the Chariot connects Baina, the Sephiroth of understanding, and Gebura, the Sephiroth of severity. This path is completely in the pillar of severity, also known as the pillar of the future. The pillar of severity helps us to cut away the extraneous. The Chariot is a vehicle of the force of spirit. A vehicle carries, conveys, or expresses the human personality as the vehicle of expression for the soul. Moving into a new path, which involves the essence of your spirit, one of the major themes this year of of the 7 universal year is to know thyself, is to be introspective and find the spirit within. 7 is an introspective number. It's a analytical number. It's an intuitive number. And so it takes our analytical powers, it takes our intuitive powers to really get to the core of who we are. And who we are is simply a small part of a bigger picture. And the more that we can connect with and understand that, we become vehicles for the soul. We become vehicles for our highest intentions. All magic is the will. You are learning the deep meaning of real magic. Who are you? Who are you? Learning the effective use of power, power of words, power of deeds, and also the power of symbols. Now, because this number is the universal year and the monthly number, the only other number we're going to really look at is the combination of those two numbers. And in this, we get the 14-5, the temperance card. Here on the right, we have the temperance card called Art, actually, from the Thoth deck. This is an alchemical card. This is the blending of water and fire to create earth and air. This is the balance of. This is called the 25th path, the intelligence of trial or temptation. This path connects Tiphereth, beauty, with Yesod, foundation. This is the conjunctiva, the path of the mystic that connects the lower self, Yesod, with the higher self, Tiphereth. Completely found in the middle pillar, also known as the pillar of transformation, or the pillar of the present moment. When we are in the pillar of transformation, our lives are continuously undergoing changes and continuously undergoing changes. This month, the new moon in Cancer reflects this energy, as does Pluto square the nodes, which brings forth an evolutionary imperative to evolve. This is the card of temperance, a trial by fire. We must walk the straight and narrow. We are in the midst of a spiritual initiation. On this path, we are coming to terms with our excesses. All immoderate behavior must be modified. Temperance is the fourth force which integrates and balances all things. It is known as the great mediator. The process of tempering steel, making us stronger and more upright and righteous. And so it is the energy of being exposed to the extremes without going to the extremes. This trial by fire. First, put in the fire, and then plunged in the liquid, and then hammered, and then again and again and again. It aligns us with that path, straight up the tree, the path of the mystic. So we'll all be having some mystical experiences this month. So what chakras are activated by these two paths that are activated this month? Well, we have this path right here. This is the path of the chariot. This is the 7 vibration. Connecting Bina, this is the Sephiroth of Saturn. Saturn is now in Pisces, with the Sephiroth Gebura, which is the Sephiroth of Mars. So we're looking at Saturn and Mars. Mars spends the first part of the month in Leo, and then on the 10th of the month, I believe it's the 10th. On the 10th of the month, yes, moves into Virgo. And there is a point in the month when Saturn will be opposing Virgo. That is on the 20th of July. That is going to be a significant time on this path, on this 7th path. You will be called to be your true self. The other path that's activated is this path right here in the middle, this purple one. This is the temperance path, the path of the mystic, trial and temptation. This is Isa, the lower, this is the subconscious mind. This is the sacral chakra. This is the heart chakra. This is the solar plexus here and the root. We have this new moon coming up in Cancer, where the sun and the moon will be in the same sign. Okay. That day we have we have that new moon opposing Pluto, which is in Capricorn now, and squaring the nodes, which by that time had moved into Aries and Libra. The chakra is activated by just this path and just this path. Now, all your chakras are open, but there are certain areas that are more stressed, or there's more energy, or there's more resonance to. And that is our third eye through the path of the Chariot, our throat through the path of the Chariot, our heart through the path of Temperance, and our sacral chakra through the connection to Yesod and the path of Temperance. And so we have our third eye, our ability to see, our psychic sight, our throat. This is where we co-create with spirit. This is vibration. So the words that we speak, the things that we say about ourselves and others matter and can manifest. Our heart, of course, our heart, the place that makes us human, the place where the upper chakras and the lower chakras meet in the seal of Solomon, or the Star of David, or the six-pointed star. The balance, the element of air, and love. And then the sacral chakra here. This is our creative center as physical beings. This is our emotions. This is water. Valuing our emotions, our sacred emotions. We have a lot of Cancer in this month, of course, with the sun being in Cancer and a new moon in Cancer. It's Cancer's time of year, Mercury in Cancer. And so we feel deeply at this time, and we must respect those feelings and what they tell us. Not allow people to go past boundaries that we're uncomfortable with. So these are the chakras that we're looking at this month. All right, so let's get started with the astrology for the month. Okay, so week one, what I've done here is I've put the week here, put all the things that are happening this week of note, the vibrations of those particular days. Now, these are, for the most part, the same for everyone, but depending on when the aspect occurs, if it occurs very early in the morning, you might have it the day before. If it occurs late at night, you may have it the next day. I just utilize the idea that I'm on the East Coast. Many of the charts I use for Washington, D.C. because of the political situation, even though this isn't a political, excuse me, a political read. Saturday, July 1st, 2023, we're in a 15-6 vibration. 15-6 is the devil card. 15-6 is located here on the Tree of Life. Here we go, right here. This is the path of Capricorn, the path of the devil, connecting Tiphereth with Hod. This is Mercury, and this is the sun. And what do we start with? First day is a superior conjunction between Mercury and the sun. So that even makes this powerful energy even more powerful. What is 15-6 about? Well, 6 is about responsibility. And the 15-6 is about being able to take responsibility for yourself, take responsibility for others and be loving. 6 is a vibration of love. And so be loving to others, not just greedy or narcissistic or addicted, which are some of the other energies that 15-6 can bring up, right? The devil card. But it is significant, and we're having a superior conjunction. And simply what that means is that we're on the earth, and then there's the sun, and then on the other side of the sun is Mercury. Mercury has made it to the other side of the sun. Sometimes Mercury is conjunct the sun, but is between the earth and the sun, and it's on our side of the sun, but we still can't see it because it's within the rays of the sun, right? You're not going to see Mercury conjunct the sun at all, right? Not with the naked eye. You need special filters and the like. Okay, so we're having that superior conjunction, which means it has a little bit more of a breadth and a perspective, because conjunctions aren't they lack perspective. But the superior conjunction of Mercury, there is space between us and Mercury, but it is the space of the sun. So it's the space of the soul, right? The life giver. And so when we get to the chart, we'll look at what 10 degrees of Cancer says. On the same day, 15-6, we have Mercury making a waxing sextile to Jupiter. This is also at 10 degrees of Cancer, with Jupiter being at 10 degrees of Taurus. And then we have the sun making a waxing sextile to Jupiter at 10 degrees of Cancer, 10 degrees of Taurus. So this energy, 10 degrees, Cancer to Taurus. Cancer and Taurus are both security-minded signs. Taurus is more interested in things like your home, like what you have, right? Taurus is about having, and Cancer is about feeling. And so with Cancer, the security we seek is emotional security, right? All right, so we'll look at the aspects here. Oh, do we have it? Did I put it over here? Maybe I didn't. Oh, here we go. The Sabian symbol for 10 degrees of Cancer. A large diamond in the first stages of the cutting process. The arduous training for perfection in order to fully manifest an ideal. The key word here is craftsmanship. And the Sabian symbol for 10 degrees of Taurus is a Red Cross nurse, the compassionate linking of all men, consecration to humanity. This really is asking us, I believe, because this is a sextile, it's a waxing sextile, so it's about opening the lines of communication. How do we open the lines of communication so that our hardship can help others? Our understanding of other people's hardships can help us to understand we are all in this together, and that if we work together, we can create a different kind of world, which is a theme that's going to be, you're going to hear all month, at least from me. On the 2nd of July, we have a 16-7 vibration. This is the Tower card. On that day, we have Venus make a first quarter square to Uranus at 22 degrees of Leo Taurus. This is actually the first of 3 squares. And the reason for that is because Venus is going to have a retrograde cycle, which starts later in the month, in July. And so it's going to square Uranus 3 times, and those will occur. The first one on July 2nd, the second one on the 9th of August, and the third one on the 29th of September. This one in August, Venus will be retrograde, and by the time we get to the 29th of September, Venus will be direct again and be at that, 22nd degree of Leo. On July 3rd, we have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn, excuse me. That vibration is a 17-8 vibration, which is the vibration of the star. So it's about finding your guiding star. And this full moon will go a long way for you to find that, to see what you need to be aware of, to see what's in front of you. So, so the full moon on the 3rd is going to give us, is also bringing up issues of security, because the axis of Cancer and Capricorn is known as the parental axis, or the axis of security. In Capricorn, we look for physical security, financial security, social security. And in Cancer, we look for the security that we get from our relationships, our family, our clan, our tribe. Excuse me. Things may feel a bit tribal this month. Of course, Cancer is a bit of a tribal month anyway, and Cancer is a bit of a tribal sign. On Thursday, the 6th of July, which is a 20/2 vibration, this is the Judgment card. It's located here. It's associated with the path between Hod, which is Mercury, and the Earth. At this time, the Earth is in the sign of Capricorn because the Sun is in the sign of Cancer. On that day, Mars makes a waxing in conjunct to Neptune at 28 degrees of Pisces and Leo. Mars is in Leo, Neptune is in Pisces. This always confuses things. It's hard to take an action with this. Sometimes you make the wrong decisions. But adjustments are needed and are necessary. You don't want to give away the farm with this aspect. You don't want to act without taking into consideration reality. On Friday the 7th, we have Mercury making a waxing sextile to Uranus at 22 degrees of Cancer. Taurus, we have this 22 degrees seems to be very prevalent. And of course, 22 is a master number. It's master spiritual builder. So this is, in its way, in a subtler way, a master spiritual builder time. Okay. Let's keep going here. All right. So this is the conjunction between the Sun and Mercury. Okay. 10 degrees of Cancer. And what was the Sabian symbol for that? A large diamond in the first stages of the cutting process, the arduous training for perfection in order to fully manifest an ideal, craftsmanship. So this conjunction is asking us to be willing to do the hard stuff, to do the stuff that takes focus and intention and practice. So I'm sure and this is not something that you haven't done before. This isn't something you haven't been working on for a long time. This is the time to show your craftsmanship, to show what you have to offer to humanity at a time when we need all the help we can get. And I would definitely trust us more than I would trust some fascistic dictator person, or an alien for that matter, right? I mean, we are human. This is our place in the universe. We can also see Jupiter here in a trine, in a sextile to this conjunction. Jupiter makes things bigger, makes things larger. Here's Jupiter right here. This aspect opens the lines of communication. It's part of a synodic cycle that between Jupiter and the Sun, and Jupiter and Mercury. And those conjunctions would have occurred at different times, most likely. So there are things coming together on the 1st of July. The 2nd of July, we have that Venus first quarter square to Uranus. Now, first quarter squares are crisis and action squares. So we want to take an action. Uranus is unexpected, surprising, out of the box. Venus is what we value, what's important to us. It's also our relationships. We're going to feel the need to create new relationships that will help support our new foundations, those foundations based on freedom. And I get that because the initial conjunction between Venus and Uranus was it's about Uranus, right? Uranus is freedom, but it's also Uranus in Taurus. And it also needs to be action taken for the planet. And there's a lot of stuff going on that, of course, here in America, we don't always hear about, because whenever you turn on the television, they're talking about the ex-president and his criminal things, which he's been doing this whole time anyway. So the second one on August 9th. So this vibration, the second is, what was it, a 16-7 vibration. That's the tower. See, the tower. Surprising, unexpected. Could be an unexpected downfall here. The second on August 9th, that's a 24-6. That's the Queen of Wands. And then the third one on September 19th, a 45-9, that is the 5 of Cups. Both of these, August and September, 23 of Leo Taurus. This one that we have now is at 22 of Leo Taurus. Venus at 22 of Leo, a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission. Spirituality in terms of training for service to mankind, world server. Square Uranus at 22 degrees of Taurus. White dove flying over troubled waters. The spiritual inspiration that comes to the individual in the overcoming of crisis. Reward to the faithful. We will be in crisis, and you need to do your part. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that part is. You know what you have to do. You know what you have to do. I'll give you a hint. You have to live your best life wherever your life happens to be, doing the things that are best. Not just for you. If you're feeling down, just do something nice for somebody else, and it makes you feel better. It's contagious. On the 3rd of July, which is my birthday, in case anybody's wondering. Nobody's wondering, I know, but I'll announce it anyway. I only get to do it once a year, right? We have a full moon at 12 degrees of Cancer. The Sabian symbol for 12 degrees of Cancer is an illustrated lecture on natural sciences. It reveals little-known aspects of life. The ability to explore unfamiliar realms and discover the laws underlying the complex process of nature. So we have this deep understanding of nature and the processes that drive nature, natural law as it is, in opposition to the sun in Cancer. The sun in Cancer at 12 degrees, a Chinese woman nursing a baby whose aura reveals him to be the reincarnation of a great teacher. The revelation of latent worth as an experience once it is seen in its deeper meaning. So this opposition is asking us to look at the miracle of our own life. And within that miracle is the reason for the life that you're in. This is a parental axis, right? Cancer and Capricorn. What were we born to? And of course, if we look at the 17-8 vibration, we were born to be the stars that we are. I like that. The stars that we are. So here we see the Cancer moon. This is for the US. So the moon is in the 12th house. The sun is in the 12th house in Cancer. The moon here in the 6th house. There's that opposition. Here's Mercury still very close to the sun. So Mercury is also opposite the moon. We have a lovely trine to Saturn of the sun, which means I would include a sextile, even though it's not listed here, to the moon. So this Saturn in Pisces can bring structure, but also spiritual understanding. We also have Jupiter here helping us, trining the moon, bringing expansion to the moon, and sextiling the sun, opening the lines of communication yet again. So this is a powerful full moon. And of course, it is close enough to the United States solar return. The United States solar return has a full moon as well, but this is the exact full moon on the 3rd. And then, well, actually, it may not have a full moon. I shouldn't say that, but it's going to be in that phase. It's going to be in the opposition phase, the fruition phase, the full phase. And so there is something that is coming full on for America. Something is being sort of served up for us to look at and evaluate and see how we're going to move forward from this point together. Okay. All righty. On July 6th, we have the inconjunct between Neptune and Mars. The other thing that's happening with this inconjunct, here's Mars, here's Neptune, is that if we go over to Pluto, we can see that Pluto also has an inconjunct. So this day of Mars making this is it waxing? Let me see. Yeah, waxing inconjunct to Neptune. It's also making a waning inconjunct Mars is to Pluto, and that makes Mars the point of a yod. The point of a yod, 27, 28 degrees of Leo. Donald Trump's Mars is at 26 degrees or 27 degrees of Leo. So if you have something at that degree of Leo, Mars is there to activate it. There to activate it. And of course, when Mars is in a yod, it needs to make adjustments in the way it's acting. Some of them come from a sense of having to perfect self, and others come from a point of being too full of self. So it is a balance between those things. When we do have Neptune in conjunct Mars, our actions can benefit others more than they actually benefit you. There's a sacrificial energy here. If you overstate your importance out of insecurity, say, it gives people an opportunity to take advantage of you. You can strive to assert yourself positively and constructively, yet the results of your efforts always seem disappointing. Part of the problem with this, and if you have this in your chart or just temporarily, is that you're a little bit too idealistic for your own good. So we have to be wary and be discerning and be humble. Humility is very important this month, especially when we get into Leo. And then on the 7th, we have the waxing sextile to Uranus of Mercury. Mercury and Uranus have a special relationship because Mercury is the planet of the mind, and it is a mental energy. And Uranus is did I say Uranus? Okay, wait a minute, it's Jupiter. No, wait a minute, it's Uranus. What the hell am I doing here? Hold on one second. Yeah, sorry, I put a circle around the wrong planet. There's Uranus. There's my friend Uranus. So Uranus is the higher minds, the higher self, our individuated unconscious, conscious unconsciousness. What's individual to our own soul, to our own journey is Uranus. But it is past, and it is past lives, and it is future possibilities for us. So Uranus brings all that to the table. Now, was Uranus makes a sextile to Mercury in the relationship between Uranus and Mercury. Uranus is sending out Mercury and saying, open the lines of communication around these issues of, if we're looking at Cancer and Taurus, where these two planets are, we're looking at issues of safety, security, food security, all the things that we seem to, somebody else seems to be in charge of, right? We need to take and have our voices heard with this stuff. This is part of the Mercury Uranus synod that began back on March 28th of 2023 at 19 degrees of Aries. The Sabian symbol for that degree is a magic carpet of Oriental imagery, the use of the creative imagination. Now we have Uranus at 22 degrees of Taurus, and we have Mercury at 22 degrees of Cancer. 22 degrees of Taurus, a white dove flying over troubled waters, the spiritual inspiration that comes to individuals in overcoming a crisis, is talking to opening the lines of communication to Mercury at 22 degrees of Cancer, a young woman awaiting a sailboat, the longing for transcendent happiness in a soul open to greater dreams. So this is about dreaming in a new world and then taking the actions that are going to get us there. What could be some of the actions that get us there? Voting is a good action. Donating to a cause that you find important. Being a better steward of the land. Getting rid of your front lawn and putting a garden in. Putting in a fauna for animals and birds. Creating sanctuary. Using creating less garbage, doing with less, having a organic garden. There's a million trillion ways of doing it simply by yourself or with other people. And of course, as soon as we connect with other people, then we are, we're exponentially, the things can change. So there's a lot of times we feel powerless, but the changes can be made, and the change starts inside of you with a decision that it's going to be different for yourself, and a vision that you can follow, and an openness to the possibilities of life, and not be so connected to outcomes, but to go along the winding river of life. Okay, so this is next week. Also big week, but we will talk about that next week. So let me stop my share here. Hi, I'm back. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe. Check out my tower scopes. They'll be coming out this week. I might actually send them out tonight. I might put them out tonight. And again, if you like my work and you'd like to support it, I could use a thumbs up, or thank you enough that you're listening to me. Thumbs up, share. My birthday is on July 3rd, and I'm hoping to get 10,000 subscribers by July 3rd, and I have like 9,900. So not a big ask, but it's an ask. And again, if you would like to support my channel financially, you can do it through donation. There's a link below, or become a patron. My patrons get things first. And as I get more patrons and I can afford to put the time in, I'm going to put some special patron stuff up on Patreon. So that's my promise to you. In the meantime, have a wonderful month. I'll see you next week. I'll see you tomorrow morning. You won't get rid of me. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a blessed week. Namaste.